Is this the Dr. Ray?
What are you asking me?
Are all people mentally ill?
You know, we're not doing therapy here.
You're always contagious, by the way.
What are you talking about?
As usual, you're doing all the talking.
Now, why would I say something so dumb?
I don't know.
Well, are you better than God?
No way.
Feel better?
No.
I'm going to give you some bad news. You got a problem.
And I guess that's true, but doggone.
I just wanted to call and get some wise advice, hopefully.
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica,
And Dr. Ray Guarendi.
here's Dr. Ray.
Whoever that kid is, I think she's great. Got a question here from somebody that said, Dr. Ray, did you ever have any imaginary friends growing up? You know, remember that Neil Diamond song, Shiloh, when I was young? It was his imaginary friend. I did. I had 2 imaginary friends, and part of the problem was they would only play with each other. Felt left out. Okay, the program here, don't leave me out. Program here is The Doctor Is In. The number to get onto the program, if you would like to be a guest, and I would love to have you as a guest, 877-573-7825. That's a number that bounces all over the place, so let's make it even simpler. 877-57-EQUAL. EQUAL. Dr. Ray, those aren't numbers. No, but those are the letters that would correspond to the numbers that you would push. I almost said dial, but showing my age. Me and General Sherman, that giant sequoia in the park with all those big sequoias. Why would you want to get on the program? That's up to you. Many reasons. Most common, question about something in your life, a circumstance, a person, situation, where you say, let me run this by this guy, see if he's got anything that might give me an idea or a thought, something. No therapy, no diagnosis, but we can educate. Sometimes people call in to help another person. They heard the call. They think, well, I had a similar problem. Here's what I did. Or more often, Dr. Ray, I don't think you really handle that all that well. Let me correct you, straighten it out. That's one. Sometimes they have generic questions. Dr. Ray, I have heard that a gifted IQ is 130. What does that mean? What is a gifted IQ? What is 130? And how do they even measure IQ? What is IQ? Dr. Ray, Freud talked about id, ego, and superego. Is that old theory? People still follow that stuff? Generic questions like that. Sometimes they're faith questions that intersect with one's own understanding of themselves. If I had more faith, would I be less depressed? I'm kind of an anxious person. Am I showing no trust in God? What I worry so much. I worry so much. Where's my peace? Where's my comfort? Does this mean I don't have God's grace flowing through me? You know, that kind of stuff. So 877-57. It's a series of pictures. Can I have those pictures, Andrew? If you send them to me, I got this, because I wanted to do this as an opening monologue, and I'm going to have to do it as something I remember. But I'd like to have the specifics. Before I go there, I'm going to begin a rather nagging announcement. There's 10 of them, huh? Oh, boy, okay. The Quest in Atlanta is hosting us. They are cooperating with us. They are opening up their doors. They are allowing us to come down there to put together tape. You know, when you say tape, there's no such thing as tape anymore. You know, it's all digital. It's not tape, but that's a term that just won't go away. Could say to go down to Atlanta and the Quest to digitalize Living Right with Dr. Ray. 4 shows, 4 programs on August 18th and 19th. 2 tapings each night, 5:30 and 7:15. Live audience. Always have a live audience. It's season number 17, by the way. Yeah, I don't like looking back at season number 1 because I think, who's the kid? That said, we'd love to have you there. Real easy to sign up. You just go to thequestatlanta.com, and there's a banner, Living Right with Dr. Ray, and it'll say register, and you can put whatever one you want, whatever show you want, whatever shows. You can come to as many as you want. in between the shows, if you stay for 2, and a lot of people do that. They come for the first show, and they go, I had a lot of fun. That's a lot different than I expected. Dr. Ray, you're actually kind of okay. And then they stick around for the second show, and we give you some food in between, light snacks and things. Bring the kids. No problem. We love the kids there. Matter of fact, I've included the kids in a lot of opening bits that I've done, and some of the best stuff we've done included kids. So that will be neat if you do that. August 18th and 19th, thequestatlanta.com. That is the place to go to sign up. August 18th, 19th, Holy Spirit Catholic Church. All right, Andrew, did you send me that thing, or I'm going to have to do it from... You can't? Pictures? All right, well, I will do it from memory then. This is fascinating. When my kids were growing up, we had 10 of them under the age of 12. Now, that's a lot of kids. And that's one major league amount of toys if I were to allow it, which I didn't. I had to keep a lid on the toys, which of course meant every Christmas we often delivered 2 or 3 baskets, to the local children's hospital. Much of the toys unopened, shared it with the kids who are in the hospital, whose only visitors are the nurses and the staff on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Yeah, believe it or not, there's a lot of that. And I thought, all this push to get kids all kinds of toys. And these toy manufacturers, they're really good at this because they're telling you your kid's IQ is going to go up. So that's right. They got all these intellectually stimulating toys. And these kids, and I'm talking to you grandparents too who buy all this stuff for them. I'm going to try to save you some money. These kids are going to play with these intellectually stimulating toys and their IQs. It's going to be reflected in their IQs because, man, this stuff has been designed to add neurological connections in your kid's brain. Well, this is interesting what these Wascoe psychologists did. They removed all toys from the kids. They had two groups, if I remember this correctly. They had 2 groups. I can't get the pictures. Send this to every parent you know. Smartest gift you can give your kids. I'm trying to figure it out. Open, see this post. Never mind, I'm going to have to remember it. They said, I think it was a 6 months follow-up. He basically said they had one group of kids, and I think they tried to match them for all the same things. One group of kids who had as many toys as they wanted. You could have just as many as you wanted. It was Major League Miniature Disney World. The other group of kids had 4, and they weren't really toys. Drawing, blocks. I don't remember what the other 2 were, but they were not something that was necessarily manufactured. It was your basic stuff, maybe scissors, things like that. What they found at the end of that 6-month period, they retested the kids' IQ, and they found that the kids who had the less stuff and who played creatively with it, their IQs went up. They went up. They tested higher. The kids who had all the toys they needed, no change. And furthermore, what they found was the more toys the kids had, the less time they spent with each particular toy. They bounced around. They became very easily distracted. They moved from thing to thing. Don't you see this on Christmas morning when there's a pile of toys there and that child rips open a toy and he's full of glee at the one he just opened. And then a second and a half later, he's grabbing for the next one. That thing kept his attention for 2 to 4 seconds because he wanted to see what the next one was. And the scientists concluded, and I don't know who these scientists were because I don't have the pictures in front of me, but they concluded that if you want your kid to be more creative, to be better able to sustain attention, to be better able to amuse himself, and on measures of IQ to increase, don't give him anywhere near as many toys. Cut it way back. counterintuitive, isn't it? Because you've been led to believe, and I know young parents do this all the time. Oh, man, I got to get him all kinds of stuff because it's the newest and latest thing, and this is just going to keep his attention, and he's going to love this, and he's going to do this. He's got one dump truck, and he plays with that dump truck, and he digs in the dirt with that dump truck, and he puts rocks in the bucket of that dump truck, and he amuses himself for a long time with that dump truck. So, for a guy like me who didn't like a whole lot of toys all over the place, this is great news. The other thing is this. Those of you who have young kids or those of you grandparents listening who are watching your young grandchildren, you don't have anywhere near as much stuff to pick up. I remember I kind of took it as a point of pride. When the kids were little, we could put all of their toys into one toy box. For all of them. All of their toys into one toy box. I like that. I like that a lot. So, great article. But let's get to your calls shortly after this break. 877-573-7825. Definitely would like to talk to you. Maybe you could even give me your insights on this whole toy litter thing. I'm Dr. Ray.
Ann Arbor Smiles is a state-of-the-art dental practice led by the talents of Doctors Dan Kennedy, Chris Marzoni, and Stephen Gray. One of their many satisfied patients is Father Deacon Lawrence Hendricks.
I was one of the first patients to receive a CEREC crown from Dr. Kennedy. The CEREC technology allows for restorations to be done in one visit. They always use the most advanced techniques in dentistry. I've always enjoyed the friendly staff and the personal relationships that I have at Ann Arbor Smiles.
Go to AnnArborSmiles.com today.
Ave Maria Radio wants to invite you, your family, and friends to a very special getaway at the historic Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, Michigan, this August 9th through the 11th, with daily mass and powerful talks from Bishop Robert Barron, Monsignor James Patrick Shea, Rachel Bullman, and Father Frankie Cicero. Celebrate 250 years of America with gourmet meals, dancing to the Grand Hotel Orchestra, and more. Book this Ave Maria Radio trip now by clicking the travel tab at AveMariaRadio.net.
This program brought to you in part by Ave Maria, Florida, a big kind of small town where golf carts take you everywhere and there's always something fun around the corner. Discover championship golf, resort-style amenities, and a town center full of shopping and dining. With Ave Maria University and Ave Maria Catholic Church at its heart, it's a community full of connection and charm. More than 25 model homes are available for viewing. More information can be found at AveMaria.com. That's AveMaria.com.
This program is brought to you by the following nonprofit underwriter.
Are you longing to hear God's voice? Lord, Teach Me to Pray, the free Ignatian prayer series will open your heart to His voice, to the peace you are seeking, and the only love that fulfills the human heart, Jesus. God is calling you to true joy, knowing Jesus personally. Lord, Teach Me to Pray is free. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com, click on the red box, order the Lord, Teach Me to Pray series now. Go to LordTeachMeToPray.com.
Okay, we got some lines, and we're waiting for your calls. So when you call in, we'll take care of things. I can talk a little bit more about toy litter. Especially with the older kids, let's say you got a 8, 9, 10-year-old. One mother told me she did this. She had a box. And after sufficient warning to put your toys away, clean them up, they weren't. Mom put the toys in her box. And to get them back, you either paid nickel, dime, quarter, or if you're 8 years old, you don't have a whole lot of money. Of course, if you're losing teeth, when I lost my teeth, I got a nickel. I found out recently my little grandson lost his teeth. I said, "What'd you get?" He said, $5. I kept thinking, man, is his teeth worth that much more than mine? You could do a chore. Here's what you need to do to get that toy back. Now, if in fact they don't want to pay for it, or if in fact they don't want to do the chore, they're telling you something. They're not all enamored with that toy. And furthermore, you might decide that if it stays in the box for 2 weeks, pick a time frame. You're the parent. You can pick the time frame you want. A month? Till their wedding rehearsal dinner? Whatever. Get rid of it. Obviously, he doesn't want it back all that much. He'd give you a nickel or a dime or a quarter or whatever you charge, or he would do the vacuuming of the family room that you said, yeah, vacuum the family room, and that's the price for getting that particular toy back. I like a toy litter box. Put it in there. Or you don't even have to go that far. If you don't want, you can just simply say, I put it in my box. Anything in my box is there for a week at least before it comes back out. Now, I know you're going to have a hard time keeping track. Did I take it Tuesday or when? I don't remember. When did I take it? I think it was Tuesday night, right? I asked him to clean it up before he went to bed. I don't remember when I took it. That's okay. You're the parent. You estimate when you took it. He may know exactly. Mom, you took it at 8:03 on Tuesday night, right before I was getting ready to go to bed. It was 8:03. How do you know that? You can't tell time. I can look. I knew it. I just take a guess. It's telepathy. Toy litter is one of the preschool problems. It truly is. And I think one of the reasons why kids let their toys become in such disarray, they have too much. They have too much. Think about it. We live in a culture that materially rewards kids for just about everything. You know your catechism verses, you get a sticker book. You go out to eat, ordering from a long list of food, something only kings and very wealthy could do in most of human history. That's not enough. You got to get a trinket to go with it. Get your hair cut, you get 3 rubber spiders. You go to school, and you can choose from the goodie bag. When my daughter was in kindergarten, I guess there was some kind of reward if you read a certain book or pages. I forget what it was, because she was able to relatively stumble her way along in early reading. And she got to pick from the goodie bag every time she finished some project. Well, she wanted erasers. So at some point it came to our attention, as we saw Hannah counting her erasers. She had 49 of them. 49 erasers. Now I said, the Grinch, Scrooge, I said, Hanny, pick the 2 that you like the best, and then let's give the rest back. She looked at me like, wait a minute, I earned those. Those are my erasers. I said, honey, I don't think you need 49 erasers. Let your teacher have those back and other kids can pick from them. Now, I don't know the teacher's reaction when Hanny brought 47 erasers back. No idea. I got to figure she was thinking, who in the heck is raising Hannah? What kind of father is this? But here's a little tidbit of research information that I'm sure the teacher didn't know, and I knew because I'm a shrink type. They have done studies, and what they found was when you give a material reward for something you would like a child to internalize. In other words, let's say we want Hanny to internalize love of reading, which she, by the way, does. She's grown now. She absolutely loves to read. She has a goal of reading a book once a week. She's a lawyer, so Hanny does this stuff. So given that, she gets an eraser every time she reads a paragraph or whatever the condition was. They've done research that says when you take away the material reward for the behavior that you are trying to internalize, the behavior actually drops in frequency. So, for example, you want your 6-year-old to somewhat make the bed, obviously at the level a 6-year-old can make a bed. And you decided, I'm going to give you a sticker, or I'm going to give you some candy, or I'm going to give you something tangible for making that bed. Every time. Every time. When I was in grad school, the theory was that if you reward the behavior, they'll do it more. And when they do it more, they will realize it's a valuable piece of behavior, and pretty soon they won't need the reward. That was the theory. The research did not confirm it. The research said there is risk that if you remove the tangible reward, the behavior will drop to a base level lower than what it was before you started the reward. Those twicky psychologists. That's what they found. Dr. A, are you saying you don't reward kids at all tangibly? No, I'm saying be a slot machine. Slot machines reward unpredictably. Tangibly, that is. They reward unpredictably. You can't know when you're going to win. You got to play a lot to win some. And of course, over the long haul, you're going to lose. But in the shorter term, you will win here and there. And that winning here and there will keep you, or will keep some people anyway, punching away at that slot machine. See, I almost said cranking that slot machine. Well, they don't even have cranks anymore unless they want to do a retro machine that makes you feel like, okay, this is back in the old days, I'll pull the crank. But more or less now it's just you push a button. They don't want you to take time to pull the crank. The button's quicker. You could lose faster. Slot machines are on what they call a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. It just means, short sleeve English, you get rewarded at random. If you're going to tangibly reward, let's say it's a bed-making thing. Every so often, you say, you know what, honey? You're doing a great job on that bed. Come here. I want to give you this. Or come here. Let's do this. Or come here. I have this for you. That's what'll happen. You will reward at random, and that is the better way to reward. It's like the parent who gives a kid $1 for every A that he gets. No, don't do that. If you're going to give $1 and you want to give $1 for A's, give them at random. Every so often. You've been getting a lot of A's here. I think that's great, son. Here, I want to make it worth your while. Here's $1. Now, keep in mind that he could start to expect the $1. We humans do this. We usually take a privilege, and if we have it long enough, it becomes an entitlement. And then when it's an entitlement, we get upset when we don't get it. It started out as a reward. That's okay. As long as you keep it random, shouldn't be a big deal. Now, I'm going to go to Mark from Fargo. The problem here is I know I'm going to have to cut Mark off because I've only got about a minute and a half before the break. But let's start anyway. Hello, Mark.
Dr. Ray. Hi, Dr. Ray, and I can wait for your answer after the necessary break. I'm considering pursuing a relationship with a woman who is very spiritual, religious, loves God. However, she is a separated sister who is a Lutheran, and I continue to practice our Catholic faith. Based on your experience, what do you know, and what suggestions do you have for us to determine if we are proper helpmates till death do us part?
How serious are you about your faith?
Very serious. I take hell and heaven for all eternity very seriously.
So it's the very core of who you are.
Yes, it's the core of who I am.
All right. How about her? How seriously does she say, I'm a Lutheran, I'll always be a Lutheran, I'll never be anything other than a Lutheran, and I'm not even looking at being Catholic?
That's a good question. That's a conversation that's coming up.
All right, let's do this. Hold on. I knew we were going to get interrupted by the music. Stay right there, Mark. We'll talk on the other side. This is Dr. Ray. The number is bottom of the line here. Bottom of the program. If you'd like to get on, we have some lines open, so give me a call, 877-573-7825. I certainly like talking to you. That's great. I like listening to you, too. Dr. Ray, how do you keep people that you don't know out in public from asking you advice, wanting your advice? I've discovered the secret. I usually take one pant leg and I tuck it into my sock and I wear it like that. Nobody really gives me a whole lot of credibility. Talking to Mark from Fargo, North Dakota. Mark, you still there, sir?
Yes, I am, Doctor.
Young man dating a very delightful, loving God, Christian woman who follows a Lutheran tradition. Now, there are many Lutheran traditions, but she would describe herself that as in an umbrella term. She's thinking
a more conservative Lutheran, Dr. Ray.
Okay, that's a step. That's a step towards you.
Yeah.
They're pondering marriage. Is she thinking marriage too?
Yes. And secondly, let me bring up when you called me a young man. I appreciate that. However, I'm 57. My marriage has been declared null 3 years ago. She's a widow. We're both free to marry. And we've already begun praying together. And sometimes I started initiating it, and she's initiated it. And I think she'll be very open to praying the Liturgy of the Hours because of, the beautiful Psalms.
Well, you just anticipated one potential complication that I was going to bring up regarding this. And that would have been okay if you marry her and she's of a different faith tradition. What are you going to do with the kids? How will you raise them? What complications will that bring? Well, that took care of that one, didn't it?
Yeah, they're all adults.
Okay.
I'm making it easy for you, Dr. Ray.
Well, I think you got some unanswered questions here.
Okay, I'm ready to write them down.
In the sense that, does she understand how deeply important it is to you that you are Catholic and that to share your life, your morals, your soul, if you will, with your spouse would be a bit of a difference? That's one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you need to get a read on her in the sense that, what does she know about the Catholic Church? What has she been taught? What has she heard? That's big, because she could be looking at you like, I'll tell you some of the stuff I've heard about the Catholic Church. I'm not so sure. I don't want to go anywhere near it. You don't know. You really got to find out. And
I am ignorant. Yep.
And pleasantly, you will probably find out that much of what she's heard is wrong about the church, and you can correct it. You can show her, well, that isn't what the church teaches, or that isn't what the church believes, or this is why the church looks at it this way. Okay, so that's big. Find out. Maybe the core question here, Mark, is would she be willing to look into the Catholic faith, seeing how much it means to you, and that if she were to understand it and see that, in fact, to her satisfaction, that is the church that Jesus meant to establish, would she consider converting?
Oh, I like that. I like that group of words, to her satisfaction. Seeing how it is important to me, willing to look into it, and would she be willing to join it if she saw that it was the church Jesus founded? Okay, so knowing how deeply important the church is to me, we acknowledge it's a bit of a difference now. Get a read on her, what she's been told about the faith, the Catholic faith. Maybe some of that's been false, and I can, with truth and kindness, educate her. And then you said at the core, is she willing to look in it, do some research, asking some questions, because she loves me, seeing how important it is to me. And if to her satisfaction, she thinks it is the church Jesus founded, would she be willing to join in? Did I get those 3 points?
Man, you said it better than I said it.
Well, I was blessed with a good education at Christendom, and I worked at Seton Home Study School, so I've been blessed with a good education, Dr. Race. But thanks for the compliment.
So you worked at Seton. You knew Ken Clark. Kevin Clark, all
And
those
Doc-
guys, right?
And Dr. Mary Kay Clark, the foundress. Yep.
Yeah,
Beautiful
yeah.
family, beautiful organization. Yes.
I just spoke to their graduation class a couple weeks ago. I got to do that.
Great.
Went down to Front Royal and got a chance to speak to the kids and the parents. But that's kind of what's the word I should?
There.
That's cheap on my part to sit here and go, let me tell you what a wonderful thing I did. Nah, I just blew the humility award. That stinks. Okay. Now the other thing is this, with her. You're not asking her to convert because she loves you, and so therefore she'll do it because she's worried it's a deal breaker.
Oh no, I'm not.
You're asking her to look into this and pray about it, of course.
That's right, and we already are praying about it. We're asking the Lord to guide our relationship. We're being chaste. We're reading good books.
Sounds like she's got a seeking heart, and it sounds like she's got an open heart, and that's a major step toward looking at all this.
I think she does have a docile soul. I think she is teachable. And Dr. Ray, that's really beautiful. Thank you so much. I know it's going to tempt you to leave your humility, but God gave you a lot of gifts, among them humor, and thank you so much for helping me out here. And if there's going to be a wedding, maybe I'll send you an invitation.
Yeah, most people invite me to their weddings knowing I can't go, but that I'll send a gift anyway. That's where you make the most money on weddings. If you get invite all kinds of people out of state. That's what I did. I invited nobody within 20 miles of my marriage, including my mom and dad, and because I knew they would just come and eat. So I thought, okay, I'm going to invite people from Nova Scotia, Tierra del Fuego, maybe New Zealand, and they usually sent a gift, and we didn't have to get any food or anything. Yeah, it was really kind of cool.
Well, I would love that because one of the mottos I came up with, Dr. Ray, is I always accept a gift unless it's a bribe. So I would love to get a gift from you.
Don't cash it until 2029.
Okay. Thanks.
Good
so
luck
much,
to you,
Dr.
Mark.
Ray.
Hey, as it unfolds, you want to give me a call back and let me know the progress.
Yeah, I can call you back with part 2, part 3, part 4, etc. Hopefully it'll be a divine comedy.
Well, I still think you got a young-sounding voice, so I thought you were 30 years old.
Maybe it's from praying the rosary. I've been given a lot of good examples in praying the rosary, so maybe that keeps me young. Thanks, Dr. Ray.
All right, sir. Take good care. This is Dr. Ray, 877-573-7825, 877-57-EQUAL. I got a little confession to make. Full disclosure, when I married my wife, she was not Catholic. I was... but I was a little more loosey-goosey about it. And I remember talking to the priest about my wife and said she just has incredible depth, wonderful depth to her. She's a beautiful human being. And we got married at the Newman Center in Kent. And she attended church with me. She was very good that way. But she had some notions about the Catholic Church she didn't understand. And over the course of time, I returned to the church. And I tease her. I say, honey, it's my influence, right? That presented you with the church. And she said, no, Raymond, your influence slowed down my conversion. I have to ask her what she meant by that. Thank you for joining me here on The Doctor Is In. Boy, the lines are quiet today, and they're normally not quiet. So you want to get on, give a call. We'll get you on, 877-57-EQUAL. That is the number to call to get onto the program. There is a drop in calls in the summertime. I noticed that. Andrew and I talk about that a lot because people are out and about. They're doing things. They're not necessarily near their radio as much as always. And I would say most of the calls we get come from home. They don't come from the car, even though the vast majority of people listen to the radio in the car. That's why drive time is such a big time with the people on the radio. Before I go to a call here, I just want to answer this question that I received. I get a lot of requests like this. And Dr. Ray, are you fascinated by the study of genetics? Yes. Yes, I am. I've always been fascinated by some of the connections and the relationships that genetics uncovers. For example, this one has always struck me, because you typically do not get a one-to-one relationship in genetics. If your parents didn't have any children, chances are very high, neither will you. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that at all. So, boy, that's just why. It's just why I'm so fascinated with that. Let me quickly, before I go to get back to Lance and Bismarck there, my wife and I spent the first couple of years of our marriage. I was Catholic and she'd go to church with me. And then she thought, well, she was raised Methodist and she had a resurgence of her faith and she wanted to explore the Methodist church. Well, at that time, I was drifting a little bit. So I said, okay, well, I'll go to church with you to the Methodist church. And then she found out that particular Methodist church was pro-choice, which means really pro-abortion. Because of that, she went to an evangelical, and I followed her. That was my period of time that I was out of the church. I came back, and my conversion story is one that I give often, and how logic, reason, and evidence brought me back to the Catholic Church. So during that period of time toward the end, I would go to the service with her, but I'd also go to Mass in the morning. And I didn't take their idea of the Last Supper. So over time, I asked her if she was going to homeschool to please teach the kids the Catholic faith, and she agreed. And what ended up happening is she taught herself the Catholic faith. And she converted, and she is now much more in love with the Catholic faith. Well, then I want to say I am, although I'd like to think I'm as in love with the faith as I could be, but her practice of it is something I just admire and learn a lot from. Lance from Bismarck. Hey, Lance.
Howdy.
Oh, I like this. You're asking me. I get to make money on this call, huh?
Yes, you do.
Oh, right. Well, I would say, Lance, you want them all because you don't want any psychological gaps.
Okay.
What are you thinking? You think a parenting discipline book?
Yes, stuff like that.
All the books are on my website. I think there's 18 of them, 18 or 19 of them. And there's a summary on all of them there. It's on the website bookstore. There are books on parenting. The most popular parenting book is called Discipline That Lasts a Lifetime. That's 100 of the most common discipline questions I get asked from parents. There is a similar one for teenagers. It's called Standing Strong. Good discipline makes great teens. That's the most common questions I get asked, ages, say, 11 on up. And then there are a number of other parenting books that come from different angles. There are books on marriage, books on the faith, Thinking Like Jesus, The Psychology of a Faithful Disciple. Jesus, the Master Psychologist, is there. There are books on emotions. One is called Living Calm, Mastering Anger and Frustration. Let's see, what else would there be books on? Oh, How to Get Along with Almost Everybody. That's kind of a social interaction sort of book. So those are all there. But if you're looking at the parenting books, there's about 5 of them. And the most popular one is Discipline That Lasts a Lifetime. And those books are signed and they're discounted on my website.
Okay. So do you think it would be, sorry, Doctor, do you think it would be best if I chose what I think they need, or let my sons and wives pick what they think they need?
How would they take it? How would they take it?
That's what I'm trying. I'm wondering myself. You know what I mean? Hey, I wanted to shove it off on you.
If you're looking at their parenting and you're thinking, man, they need help, and then you're going to hand them a parenting book, what are you saying here, Dad?
Well, yeah, there you go. So
one thing, sometimes what I'll tell grandparents is this. I'll say, okay, if you're a little nervous about just presenting cold discipline book to the kids, you get it. You read it and you say, I read this book from this guy, and I really like a lot of what he said. Do you want to take a look at it and see what you think?
Okay.
That's what I would
that
do.
makes sense.
And that would soften it up anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
But I hated to lose the sale right there, you know what I mean? I mean, if it means I'm going to make a sale.
I'll end up buying multiples.
Oh, all right. Go for it. My wife manages my bookstore, so I'll say, honey, get ready. Lance is calling from Bismarck, or he's ordering on the bookstore.
So,
thank you, Lance. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right, sir. Take good care. See, I got to make money on that. That was pretty cool. All right, I got to get to your calls here. I got to take a break, though, so that I can have time for them when I get on the other side. This is Dr. Ray.
This year, Guest House is celebrating its 70th anniversary. Opening their doors in May in 1956 in Lake Orion, Michigan, Guest House is the world's most successful treatment center designed exclusively for the ordained and consecrated, including those in formation. For 70 years, they've been a beacon of hope and healing for more than 8,000 guests seeking lasting recovery from addiction and other behavioral health conditions. Support their mission today at guesthouse.org. That's guesthouse.org.
What happens to us when we receive confirmation? What are the effects of the sacrament? The Catholic Catechism tells us when Christians are confirmed, their baptismal grace is increased and deepened. They share more completely in the mission of the Lord Jesus. They are filled with the Holy Spirit so that their lives give off the aroma of Christ. The anointing of confirmation, the Catechism further tells us, places on the confirmand the seal of the Holy Spirit, signifying his or her total belonging to Christ and enrollment in his service forever, as well as the promise of divine protection in the great eschatological trial. This is Peggy Stanton, and this has been the Order of Malta's Minute with the Catechism.
You're listening to Ave Maria Radio.
Ave Maria Radio. Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically own shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866 Ave Maria or visit AveMariaFunds.com.
All right, let me see what I can do here. Bob, off the air, has a question. My sister is living with me for a few months while she's in the process of getting a new place. Our sarcastic personality get pretty grating on him. He says, I know she doesn't mean anything malicious, but how do I handle it when she's around? Well, the simple way to handle this, Bob, is it's time limited. If you know she's leaving a month and a half from now, you basically just don't let her irritating remarks irritate you. You know she does it. It's not surprising. It's her style. It's her personality. You said that. Very sarcastic personality. So therefore, when you say it can get pretty grating, no. It's grating because you let it be grating. It's not automatic. She can say sarcastic kinds of things. Now, if she's saying them about you, then you can kind of just look at her like, what are you saying? What's your point? You can do that. You can just stare at her like, I hear what you're saying. I don't like what you're saying, but I'm not going to say anything. You can do that. But the best way to deal with her is just to know it's time limited and you don't want to fracture the relationship. You might be thinking to yourself, well, if I knew she was like this at this level, I wouldn't have asked her to stay here while she got a new place. Okay. But this will be a chance for you, more or less. It says here, I know she doesn't mean anything malicious. So that's kind of an indication she's not being sarcastic right at you. Maybe she's making sarcastic remarks about life, about even other people, whatever it is. But you don't have to let it get to you. A simple rule is the more somebody is a certain way, the easier it should be to take them that way because you know that's who they are. All right, let's go to a young lady. Angelica. Now, I think the rule here in any kind of EWTN hosted broadcast is that anybody with the name Angelica just jumps straight to the front of the line. That's just kind of the way it is. Hi, Angelica.
Hi, Dr. Ray.
Now, where is all of this conflict internally for you coming from?
So I don't know, because I've just never. I really don't know. I just feel very guilty in getting to. I'm not. It's not like I'm not dating them. I have met one of these guys, and it was just like a meeting thing. It wasn't even. He didn't call it a date or anything. We just hung out for like 3 hours, and we're still talking. And I'm talking to another guy that I'm going to meet. He's going to come see me in about a month. But I just feel very uneasy. Like, I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm like, well,
am I being unfaithful?
On.
Yes. Am I being unfaithful?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Angelica, how old are you?
30.
Okay. Well, you're still you're in that generation. And this is something I didn't understand when I was your age or younger dating girls, which is, look, I have no commitment. I'm going out with you because I enjoy your company, but I'm not giving you any messages that you're the one and only. And you're doing that to yourself. I think your generation more or less says, okay, if I meet one person of the opposite sex and I spend any time with them, oh gosh, that means I can't really spend any time with somebody else of the opposite sex. I've heard that often, especially among the younger people. I couldn't believe that. That would have shocked me when I was 21 years old. I would have thought, what? Are you kidding me? I'm in college. I like meeting girls. This is great. So
yeah, and I think that's you said everything right.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have friends saying to you, Angelica, what are you doing? I mean, don't lead him on like this. I mean, if he's starting to like you, what are you doing talking to other people? I don't know if you have any friends doing that to you, but they're wrong.
No, they're not. They've not been saying that to me, but I think it's mostly just me in my head, because that's exactly what I've been doing my whole life is, meeting one person, sticking to that person, and it's basically like, it's the relationship on hold, like a pending relationship sort of thing. So
you haven't committed yourself to anybody. You haven't led them on. You haven't said you're the only person I'm seeing. You haven't said, gee, I hope this goes somewhere. It's going to be great to get to know you over the next 26 dates. You haven't said anything like that. All you've done is spent a little time with them. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're telling yourself, you said, I feel guilty. I've got this internal conflict. You're doing that to yourself because you're not doing anything morally wrong.
Okay. That makes me feel so much better.
Well, you don't need me to tell you that, Angelica. You need you to tell you that. Not me.
Yeah.
Who am I? Just some old dude on the radio. But when you recognize, the reality of this situation is that I am making no dating relationship commitment to these guys at all. Not at all. And if they take it that way, that's their error. If they think, what, she spent time with me and then I found out she's talking to somebody else? If they think like that, that would make me nervous. Because it kind of speaks of a sense of ownership that they don't have.
Yeah. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Now, okay, one other thing I do want to say to you, and don't take this wrong. Okay, I'll just come on and say it. We spent about 3 minutes here talking, and I like to think I'm special as radio hosts go, and I would hope that you haven't called any other radio shows. Now, I'm not asking if you have. I would just hope you haven't done that.
Okay, you can sleep easy.
I'm that special radio host. Okay, I don't want you to go calling David Anders, or Greg Popchak or any of those guys. Just okay. If you want to talk some more, you call me.
Okay.
All right. You take good care, dear.
Thank you.
See you. Bye. I'm not insecure, am I? Do you think I'm insecure? I know you think I'm paranoid. I know it. I can tell just by looking at you, you think that. No time to take any more calls. It's always a delight. What a privilege to get to do this program. Never in my wildest dreams, back when I was in secular media, that I think I would get a chance to be at the place that matters most, to talk about the faith with people who think about the faith, who love the faith, who maybe even struggle with the faith. Never would have guessed it. Especially back when I was in engineering at Case Tech. Never saw that train coming. Thanks, Andrew Kruchek, for what you do over there in Ann Arbor. Eric Dumont, as you call Scream. And EWTN, as you run this on your massive radio network. Walk with God. Now, that's a one relationship you really want to stay committed to. You don't want to have any other gods before Him.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.